First of all, maybe AI really is taking all the jobs because similar to us, it cannot spell the release date. The release date. Anyway, as a fan, I have to say I can't believe it's been 3 days since this dropped and I did not know about it. But in my defense, I have been working overtime. So hopefully that means I'll be able to go to Dreamville Festival this year, unlike previous years. But also, hopefully this means we can finally put to rest that J. Cole is not in the top 3 conversation, because niggas really try to sleep on him. And as somebody who's been having to defend him since 2016 when For Your Eyes Only came out, this feels like a reckoning for me. Now, I enjoyed Might Delete Later, even though I didn't listen to it right away. I take that back. I did listen to it right away. However, I did not re-listen to it right away. So I gave it one entire run through, and then when I got to his response to Kendrick Lamar, because this was like before it was erased and everything, in which you actually still can listen to it on YouTube and probably like Audio Mac. But I did not re-listen to it right away until around like fall of last year. And revisiting it, actually, it really disappointed me because it got overshadowed. It was a flawless, like really nice, listenable mixtape, and it really got overshadowed by everything else that was going on, including the apology. So a part of me kind of wishes that he hadn't apologized and taken it back, because it definitely would have led more people, I feel like, to get to enjoy the entire body of work, or just not dropped 7-minute drill altogether. Like that whole debacle was just like a really weird time. And I think what makes this even sweeter for me is that I'm finding out about this album through an RDC World skit. So I really built my algorithm brick by brick on TikTok. And that's another thing, I haven't really been on TikTok. So just, I've been in my own world, man. And it's crazy because by the time like this mixtape comes out, I will also have locks. I'm getting locks this weekend. So I'm just really excited. It feels like the universe is lining up to all of my intrusive thoughts and things that make me happy. In other news, 2 weeks ago, Doechii released Girl Get Up. Just now listening to that also, because when I saw that SZA was featured on it, I thought this would be another one of Doechii's like mainstream songs. If you really like Doechii, you know that there are definitely 2 Doechiis, and there's like mainstream Doechii, and then there's like album Doechii. And I personally really love album Doechii. In addition to MDL, Alligator Bites Never Heal is still in my rotation. I don't listen to it as often as I was, but it's definitely still in rotation. City Cinderella is also still in rotation. I know that a lot of people don't seem to really be into JT artistically, or they liked her better as a part of the City Girls, but I genuinely feel that she holds her own very well as a solo artist. But that's just my opinion. And I say that to say, and I want to segue into something Doechii addressed in Girl Get Up, which was that she is responding to basically being treated as if she is higher than the other rap girlies, which she actually is. But I appreciate her calling out the misogyny and why she's being revered as that. She is intellectual, that she is able to separate intellect from how the artist presents themselves. However, I mean, at some point, is it really misogyny? And when can we have this conversation about the representation that we have in rap? Because, like, ideally, everything that people claim they want in female rappers Rhapsody embodies that, but I never hear anyone bring up Rhapsody. I have never had a conversation in which Rhapsody came up, and that might be just due to my specific circle, my specific social settings. But she is ideally what people have been asking for. She is the antithesis of the Nicki Minaj's, the Cardi B's, and even to a lesser extent, Doechii. She is the antithesis to most of the rap girlies. However, she is not a mainstream artist. And so there is a level of dishonesty that I feel people present when they speak about intellectualism in female rap and wanting to fill that void, because Doechii is being accused of being an industry plant and has been accused of being an industry plant for a while. And in addition to addressing that, why does she have to be an industry plant? What makes her an industry plant who is actually talented and who is actually able to rap and rap well, and also bring a lot of style and a lot of pizzazz to female rap? Because we're all burnt out, on some of it. We all are, but I appreciate that, because she isn't the only intellectual in the, as she put it, because that's as reductively as some people put it, as the P word rap. But we have to be honest about what she's being compared to, because every new rap girly is not a Nicki Minaj. None of them will ever be a Nicki Minaj, but even half of them are not a Doechii either. So if we're going to have this honest, sincere conversation about intellectualism in female rap and balancing it with sex appeal or whatever have you, Doechii and Nicki are great places to start that. More so Doechii, just because, of how Nicki presents, and Nicki kind of, I believe, contributed very greatly to the BBL craze. But that's a whole other story for another day. In terms of intellect and sex appeal, Doechii and Nicki are there. They have it. They have the mainstream it factor, but they are also able to... For Nicki, I wouldn't say speak on deeper things, because when I say that she's intellectual, I mean more so in terms of how she literally raps. Like, just her rap skill and the metaphors that she uses in her ear for music. Whereas with Doechii, I'm literally speaking on the content of her music being deeper, because I don't necessarily consider Doechii to be super barred up. Like, she has good bars, she has great bars, but her content and what she speaks on is what makes it awesome. Her swag as a whole, her swag and her demeanor. She has such a great, diva quality about her. And she's earned that. Doechii is, like I said, what people are really talking about when they say they want the intellect as well as the mainstream sex appeal or whatever. And it's not fair that as female rappers, they have to fit into these very limiting boxes. But I see her as someone who could break out of it. You know what I mean? Because she is not this sanctified, Lauryn Hill type of figure. But she's also not lacking substance in the ways that Sexy Red and even a lot of the time Nicki Minaj can be. So I appreciate those qualities in Doechii. She is what happens when you marry the beauty and the swag of Lil' Kim with the authenticity and respectability of Lauryn Hill. And I don't mean respectability in a shallow way that it's often used. I think at the baseline, all people are worthy and deserving of respect. However, again, a few years ago, when all we had was Nicki, there was still that missing link. You know what I mean? And that's why I am glad that the girls have way more options now for what they want to listen to and what they want to identify with. But I think Doechii has a certain flavor that can be appreciated by a very specific niche. And I'm happy to fall into that niche, and I'm happy to see her pave the way for more people to fall into that niche. But tell me what you guys think. Are you excited for the fall off? Are you excited for Doechii's next album? Have you listened to Girl Get Up yet, please? Have you listened to Diss 2 Track 2 yet? If you haven't, I highly recommend you do.